Hello class. In this video I will be demonstrating how you use Google Earth to complete the assignment tracking plate motion with the Hawaiian Islands. So the first thing you want to do is of course upload the actual program or the KML file that I provided you of tracking plate motion so that you get all of the plotted locations. Now, the first thing that you want to do is you know that rate equals distance over time. So we're going to be using that calculation to determine how fast the Pacific plate has actually been moving during the formation of the Hawaiian Islands. Now, we're only going to focus on this portion of the Hawaiian Islands, so these are the only ones that you're going to be concerned with. So the first thing that you want to do is you have to know that I am, of course, on Google Earth, the web version. I will be bringing in Google Earth Pro here in a moment so that you can see how to do that as well. All right. So as you can see, we have it uploaded here, and you've got the island names as well as the age of rock from each of those locations on that island. Now, this is significant here. What you want to do is whenever you measure this, you notice I just scrolled in a little bit. I'm going to go over here and use what is called the ruler tool. And with this ruler tool, I just click it, and up here in the right-hand corner, you can see that I can measure my distance. Well, because plates move not in meters per year, I want to go ahead and change that into centimeters per year. So it's a step that I don't have to do any conversions for. It's automatically given there. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my crosshairs right over that point. And I'm going to left click, and then I am going to go up to put the crosshair directly over the next point. And here I notice that the age difference between my islands, or the distance between my islands, is 12,309,876 centimeters. Okay, so there's my first, that's my distance. And now, of course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that value of 12,309,876 centimeters, and I'm going to divide that by the difference in the age of rock. So in other words, I'm going to go and say, okay, that number, this number right here, is going to be divided by 0.4 million years. Well, everybody knows that 0.4 million years is really 400,000. So make sure that you, whenever you do these calculations, you're using the actual values to do so. Okay, and then once you divide that value out, what you end up doing is you end up getting the rate at which the plate motion the plate was moving during the formation of these two locations. Okay, next, now I'll show you one more here. You're going to go back to that point, and we're going to go ahead and start new. And I'm going to go back to this point, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, now here's the one thing that you want to remember is whenever you start looking at the age differences, you have to subtract the two values. Okay, so notice I went from the second point to the third point, so I've got 12 million again centimeters, but I'm going to subtract those ages. So 1.1, I'm going to subtract 400,000. So that, remember, that's 1,100,000 subtracting 400,000, and that's going to leave me 700,000 years. So what you do is you go through and you do all of these calculations up through, and you're basically seeing how fast the plate has actually been moving. Now there's lots of other concepts that you're going to have to apply, but the assignment will lead you through it in order. So you want to make sure that you do this portion of the assignment in order. Okay, so that's how you go about using your Google Earth tools to measure the distance and use that distance to calculate out the rate of plate motion. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'm going to bring in, this is the Google Earth Pro downloaded version. Okay, and it looks slightly different, but you'll notice that it comes up pretty much the same. The only thing that you're going to notice is the ruler tool feature is up here. So you're going to say show the ruler. You can drag it around a little bit more, and notice I've already got this one in centimeters, and so now you put it right in the center of the box, so it doesn't have a crosshair, but it's got a box. And then I'm going to do pretty much the same exact thing. Now you'll notice that the values may be a little different than what you're going to get in the online version. Don't worry about that, because whenever you do the rates and you put your answers um, into the assignment, you'll see that there's kind of a range for that, so don't worry about that. But you do the same exact process. So this is how you go about using the tools on Google Earth to determine the distance between the marked locations and use that information to help analyze plate tectonics and how it's worked out here in the Pacific Ocean. So hopefully this video has helped you out. And remember, if you have any questions or have any concerns on how to do this, do not hesitate to email me.